Welcome to the Law Firm Marketing Minute, your source of internet marketing inspiration.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the Law Firm Marketing Minute. I'm your host, John Henson, and this may come as a surprise to some of you, but I spend a lot of time on TikTok. If you're not familiar, TikTok is the new popular social media app where if you remember Vine from back in the day, you just upload some videos. It's really just primarily a video platform, but all kinds of just fun stuff, a lot of stuff that, probably shouldn't have been uploaded to begin with, but it is what it is. But there are a lot of attorneys that are on TikTok. It's a mix between just them living their lawyer lives. It's some people are, giving some very base level legal advice, talking about how, how laws can impact certain people, all kinds of stuff like that. But one of the things that I see a lot of is lawyers talking about how they regret going to law school. And I find that interesting because it's, even though they're presenting it, with a smile on their face and, there's a lot of joviality going on there, there's that underlying tone of regret that just is very interesting to me. And we've talked before about the statistics behind the legal industry and just how just the overall rates of unhappiness, dissatisfaction, poor mental health are the worst across almost all other industries. And that's really unfortunate. And it sucks to know that, you spent 4 years in law school grinding, stressing over taking all of your exams, trying to pass the bar, all of that, only to end up in a career that you hate or that you're not happy with, and that you just regret doing all of it. And the way that I interpret it, though, is that these lawyers now just feel stuck in their career. And if that's you, and I have been, I've been just hitting all the marks with everything I've been saying so far, and it applies to you, really step back and consider what you're doing. You don't have to be a lawyer, right? Granted, yeah, you spent 4 years in law school. Maybe you're still paying off the student loans for that, but don't torture yourself into continuing to be a lawyer if it's not where your heart is. The most successful lawyers I know are people who are passionate about their job, who are going in, they're building up their firm, they're helping people, and they're doing the kinds of work they love. See, I think a big part of the problem is that the most unhappy lawyers are the ones who feel like they're trapped in like this corporate big law. They're just like, constantly doing transactional work, or they're just, taking all of the grunt work and all the cases like that. Or it's lawyers who they started their own firm, they're running their own business, but they're just taking every single case they can take because they feel like they have to in order to keep the lights on and to keep a steady revenue stream. And if you're in one of those two camps, you have some options. All right. If you're in the big law, if you're in a big law firm, try to go find a way to start your own firm. Start a solo small firm, find a couple partners, maybe, whatever you got to do, make that leap. And I know it's scary opening your own business, but you're also a lawyer. You kind of know what legal things need to be done in order to start a business. That's where you kind of have an advantage. You don't have to stress a whole lot about a lot of those unknowns that other business owners would have to do, even for me, granted, like I work with lawyers, I've created content for lawyers, but if I wanted to go out and start my own business, I would need to spend a lot of time trying to figure out what I needed to do legally. What business licenses or documents do I need? I've got to go through a lawyer and set up the kind of entity that I want. And there's just a lot of unknowns there that, like, I'm not the entrepreneurial type, so like I'm probably not going to do this. But like if I was, that's something that would give me pause. But you probably don't have that same hesitation in that regard. So look, if you're in a big law environment and you're miserable, but you still want to continue being a lawyer, look for ways to get out and open your own firm and really control your own destiny and really carve a path for yourself in the legal world. If you're on that other side that I talked about, where you're already running your own firm, but you're miserable because you're just taking all kinds of legal work that you don't enjoy doing. Honestly, like you don't have to do that. I recorded a center stage episode with a couple of attorneys, I think last week. It'll be, that episode will be dropping, I think next month sometime. But they talked about how as soon as they really focused in, and there's the marketing aspect to this, but once they really focused in and decided that they're only going to do this kind of case, not only were they happier and more fulfilled with their career choice, but their firm actually saw a lot more success. And it goes back to that message that I've been preaching for a really long time, where if you focus your marketing on the specific type of legal work that you want to do, even if it's a specific type within a practice area, that's going to actually open up so many more opportunities for you. I know on paper it sounds like you're closing off a lot of opportunities, but you are actually opening up a lot more opportunities because you're positioning yourself as the lawyer for whatever thing that you enjoy doing most. And people are going to see that. People are going to come to you for that. They're not going to bother you with a bunch of other stuff that you're not interested in doing. And that allows you to become a better referral source for other attorneys. It allows other attorneys to really truly understand what you can do, and it'll make them look good. There's just so many positive aspects to just focusing on a small area that you really enjoy doing the most and being that expert in that. And look, at the end of the day, if you still find yourself unfulfilled, it's okay to change careers. It's really okay. Going to law school is not a waste of time. If you, I see, especially on social media, a lot of people will tag their bios as like a recovering lawyer or stuff like that. And it's just, continuing to just kind of perpetuate that negative view that a lot of people have of lawyers and the legal field. But if you decide to get out of the legal industry, that's okay. You're not a failure. You didn't make a mistake. You took a path, and now you're going to take a different one. And you can use the experience and the skills that you learned in law school and during your time as a lawyer and apply that to something else, whether you go out and start a business in a different industry, whether you jump on in a job with another company, whatever you decide to do, there's still going to be tons of opportunity for you out there. Don't live your life full of regrets, especially if you're miserable in your job right now. Like, there are ways that you can make it better. Just the hardest part is just making that decision to take that first step. All right. And that's all you got to do. I know I make it sound easy, but I know that actually doing it is really hard. And so, really, really do consider that if you've been in that place. I know a lot of people, especially right now, just kind of reconsidering their career paths. They after 2020 and all of that. And so wherever you're at, whether you're miserable or whether everything I said, you were just like, no, that's not me. This guy's not talking about me. I don't know why I'm still listening to this episode, because this episode is just not for me. I'm killing it. I'm happy. I'm loving it. And that's great. All right. The lawyers that are the most passionate and the happiest in their jobs are the ones that are finding the most success right now. So whatever you got to do to find that happiness and fulfillment and success, let's do it. All right. Let's get going and not wait around any longer and stop living in regret. Stop looking in the past. I don't want to turn this into a whole big, motivational speech or anything. That's just not really my style. But it's time to make some changes if you feel like you've got to. So hope that was helpful. As always, continue to rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. Check out Center Stage and all of the great conversations that we're having over there. And that's going to do it for us this week. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for joining us. Please visit lawfirmmarketingminute.com for more information. We'll see you next time.